Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoteric, and the video that everyone has been hoping to hear about is finally here, because as of yesterday, Paprium has been 100% dumped and made to work via emulation, and that means the $1 million scam that Watermelon Games and Fonzie were running is 100% dead, because people that did not receive their copies of the game can now play Paprium from start to finish via emulation, and if you just want to check it out, you can do the same. And that is absolutely spectacular, because so many people deserve to play this game, and so few people have actually been able to do so. I was one of the lucky few or unlucky few, depending on how you look at it, that actually received a copy of their game when they ordered it, and I'm pretty sure that's down to the fact that I had a YouTube channel. But now, whether you gave Watermelon money or not, you're going to be able to enjoy Paprium for what it is from start to finish, and I'll explain how to do that just a bit in the video. But honestly, this is something that everyone has been commenting on, asking when this game is going to be fully dumped, and it was an absolute massive reverse engineering project just to get this far. And big thanks to Anime Phoenix, one of the members of my Discord server. He sent me this message earlier yesterday, basically saying the time is now, and I was able to get some footage and get this video out to you guys so you all know about it. Before I get too far involved though, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, got a Patreon link down below as well. But honestly, this is what you have been waiting for, because it's been incredibly unfair that people spent hundreds, 200s, even 300s of dollars to try to buy a copy of Paprium during the pre-order process and received absolutely nothing. And then Watermelon Games did a Kickstarter that basically raised another $900,000, and to date, absolutely nothing has been delivered from that whatsoever. I mean, legit, $1 million of customers' money has gone towards this game, and so few people have ever actually been able to play it. So I'm just so happy now I can tell you, if you want to play Paprium, it's going to be easy. Now, I definitely can't link it to you, but if you go over to something like Archive and search Not Paprium, I'm sure you'll be able to find something. And just be aware that there is a custom core within the files for RetroArch and Genesis GX Plus, which is going to allow you to actually emulate this, because on the base emulation core, it's just not going to be something that works. And before you ask, on the Mr. FPGA front, the mini game in the beginning will work, but I haven't gotten anywhere past that, because obviously there is some custom hardware on here that's not implemented on something like Mr. FPGA, but you never know, maybe in the future we will get that. And again, I can't stress enough just how big of a project this is. We're talking about voltage glitching the cart, we're talking about melting epoxy to try to get down to more layers to actually reverse engineer everything. It's one of those projects a ton of different people have worked on it for a ton of time. While I can't list everybody here, definitely thank them in the comments, because trust me, this has been a huge effort. And as far as my involvement is concerned, I've just been pointing to the game over and over again, saying that I know it's being worked on, and trying to kind of just hold Watermelon to the fire, saying, where is these games that people paid you for? Because that's been the most disappointing thing about all this. It's a very easy thing. If you accept customers' money for something, you have to deliver it to them. There is no promise or guarantee that the game's going to be good at the end, but when you take people's cash and promise them a game in return, your bare minimum requirement is to actually deliver that. And in the comments, I've gotten hundreds upon hundreds of people telling me that they had spent hundreds of dollars with Watermelon and never received anything. Then other people would say, I got 3 copies of the game. So it really is a very confusing situation where some people actually received the orders that they paid for, like me, and other people received absolutely nothing. And I wouldn't expect this to be ported to Steam anytime soon or any other platform, and I'm sure now that it has been dumped, Watermelon will probably stop talking about it completely, because at this point in time they don't really have any product to sell. And normally I would say that really isn't a good thing, but in the case of Paprium, the amount of scam going on with this thing, it is just so good that you're playing it. Now, as far as the performance is concerned, on Genesis GX Plus, honestly, it seems to be doing every single thing a real Sega Genesis piece of hardware would do, because when I captured this and reviewed it, I did on my CDX, and honestly, the performance here seems to be exactly the same. And big thanks to Andy D for helping with the captures as well. It has been a very busy weekend for me, and I wanted to get this video to you guys day of, so that's what we're doing today. But I will do a soundtrack sample as well, because this file is going to basically use MP3s contained within some of the dumps, and there will be directions in the files as well, so make sure you pay attention to those. But the sound sounds good as well in Genesis GX Plus, so go ahead and listen for 45 seconds, but come back and I'll talk a lot more about how you can emulate Paprium today. fun soundtrack. Maybe sounds a little bit bassy coming out of that custom Genesis core, but otherwise pretty much sounds like it would expect it to on real hardware. Now, as far as is it ever going to work on flash cartridges or FPGA, I have absolutely no idea. I wouldn't expect it to, and if it does at one point in time, then definitely just be happy that it happens. But even having it in emulation, again, is going to be so much fun. I'm going to give you a few tips to actually get this running, and some of them involve the actual emulation, and some of them involve just some kind of tricks that the game likes to play on you. When you first load Paprium up, you're going to get an 8-bit minigame. You have to lose that minigame and then basically just turn off RetroArch and turn it back on again, because you can't get into the main Paprium game until you power cycle the hardware. Just a little bit of a code trickery that they had going on just to kind of trip you up and have a little fun with the overall project. So if you actually can't get into Paprium, the footage you're seeing here, make sure you turn off RetroArch or basically quit out and then go back into the game after you lose the minigame, and everything should be working perfectly fine. But it's one of those things, I know it's going to trip everybody up. And again, you have to install that custom core for Paprium into RetroArch, and there will be directions contained within it as well. And every once in a while, you're going to see a visual glitch here and there. Those are definitely things you see in the main cartridge for Paprium as well. If you sock lock this game, if you hard lock this game, don't be surprised, because the real game on the real cartridge can do the same. When I reviewed the lower levels, I soft locked it at the boss on stage 3, and Andy D, who helped with the capture of this footage, also managed to soft lock it there and hard lock it on stage 6. Because Paprium seems to have all of the hallmarks of a game that's like 95% complete but not 100% done. I feel like Watermelon either ran out of money, ambition, or both, and just decided to put whatever they had on the cartridge and ship it to a few people. So if you see some visual glitches or you see some freezing in the custom core for RetroArch, don't think it's down to the reverse engineering or emulation, just be aware that it's down to the issues with Paprium. And as far as whether or not you're going to have fun with this game, that's totally up to you. It definitely is trying to be Streets of Rage, and in some ways it succeeds, in other ways it kind of feels a little bit repetitive, but there's a ton of secrets in this game, and you're definitely going to be playing this thing for dozens upon dozens of hours if you want to see everything. And to date, there are still a bunch of secrets apparently in Paprium that no one's ever been able to figure out how they work. I think now that a lot more people are going to be playing this game because it is easy to play, you're going to see a lot more discoveries coming in pretty quickly, which is always going to be awesome, both for the community and for the game itself. But honestly, this is why I love talking about preservation and dumping of games, because up until yesterday, if you wanted to play Paprium, you either had to be lucky enough to get a real cart back in the day, or you had to go on eBay and spend something like $750 to $1,000 to get one on the secondary market. And it is just absolutely ridiculous and embarrassing that Watermelon just couldn't ship this damn thing to everyone. So as far as feeling bad for this game getting out into the wild, absolutely nobody should whatsoever, because now finally Paprium exists and you can play it. And I know, again, there's probably hundreds upon hundreds of hours of reverse engineering that went into this thing, and it's finally paid off in a playable Paprium for everyone. But I would say the most successful thing about the game is definitely the soundtrack. So one more soundtrack sample, 35 seconds, I'll be right back with just a tiny bit more information. I mean, definitely sounds good to me, but if I could give you one more tip, and this is only if you can accomplish it, if you can get RetroArch over to your CRT television or PVM, a lot of the transitions in the video and some of the effects are only going to work on CRT television. So if you see something that kind of looks like it's a visual glitch, it might actually look completely fine on an old tube TV, because the artists and developers here definitely used a lot of that concept of how to make an image look good on a CRT television when they develop Paprium. And every once in a while, if you're playing on an LCD screen, it's going to break break that illusion, but honestly not so much that you won't enjoy it. But the big byline here is that Paprium's finally been liberated from its cartridge, and now whether you paid for it or not, you're going to be able to enjoy it. And it's one of those things. I love that it says piracy stinks right on the back there. Well, you know what stinks worse? Something like Watermelon Games taking over $1 million and not fulfilling their promises. And if you do have a copy of this on pre-order, if you gave them Kickstarter money, I don't think anything like this is going to help Watermelon deliver anything, but I don't think they had any plans to deliver in the first place. But the day has come. Paprium's playable for everyone, and I absolutely love it. But I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.